everybody, and welcome to the Tech Raptor Podcast. I'm Robert Scarpanito, your features editor.
Andrew Otten, editor-in-chief.
Rutledge Doggett, site founder.
Andrew Stretch, is it okay that I'm the Game Pass editor this week?
No.
No.
Well, to be fair, this podcast is sponsored by Games Pass this week, so
No.
It's not actually. We're just.
it's not actually, but it might as well.
There's been a lot of Game Pass announcements today.
I'm tired of hearing you talk about Game Pass.
I mean, the second half of our show is going to be about Game Pass, like just full on.
I'd probably bring it up the second most, to be honest.
Yeah. So it's the big time of the season, big time of the year, where we get to see all sorts of gaming announcements. We're kind of in the middle of a bunch. I think tomorrow, at the time that this drops, tomorrow there's another Xbox showcase. We haven't seen a Nintendo Direct yet, but
wait, there's another?
They are obligated.
They're doing an extended showcase that they're going to take the stuff that they showed today, because we're recording on Sunday today specially, and they're going to take the stuff that they showed today and give like an expanded dive into a lot of it.
Right, just play it all in slow motion. So
they're going to keep cutting the Todd over and over.
Kojima's 30-second conversation is going to become a 40-minute conversation, just frame at a time.
Exactly.
Mean, who's not watching that, right? That's must-see TV.
Of course. So in this episode, we're going to kind of recap everything from the Summer Game Fest onward, a lot of the stuff that just kind of caught our eye. Do not take this show as the holistic list of everything that was announced, because if it were, we would just be reading down a paper for about 40 minutes and then call it quits.
4 hours.
Yeah.
That'd be great. We should do that.
Yeah, that's the premium content you come here for, right?
Yeah, we'll just start reading our news articles every week.
It's a good thing that 2022 has no games, am I right?
Yeah.
Excuse me while I go cry in my guide cave.
So Summer Game Fest, the hot Gee Hoff Summer. We're calling it a lot of things here.
Hot Gee Hoff Summer.
Hot Gee Hoff Summer.
No, it's Keeley 3.
The Keeley 3.
No, Hot
The Summer
Gee-Hoff
Game
Summer.
Fest. The thing that happened last Thursday with Jeff Keighley standing on a stage and talking for about, what was that, an hour and a half or so?
That was in December.
Oh, the other stage.
That's the
Summer
Game
stage.
Awards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
He's everywhere now.
That was last August, or coming this August.
It's not Gamescom either.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Jeff.
You can play Jeff Keighley whack-a-mole nowadays with the number of events
He even did
the.
what else did he do? He did something else this weekend. I forgot what it was.
But also, as much as we might be joking, the state that that video game award shows were in before he showed up, where women were coming out with game titles painted on their chests. I'm so glad that Keighley came across.
It was on Spike TV.
Round of applause for that man.
Spike
he has
TV.
has done amazing things.
Yeah, he's grown a lot since he was the Dorito Pope.
Now in 3D.
He's
I
like,
will say,
like John Paul II Pope now.
yeah,
The one everybody likes.
the cool one.
That's right.
From a holistic standpoint, I think my favorite thing about Summer Game Fest is that scene, that part of it where Jeff stopped talking, the lights dimmed down, and he looked dead ass into the camera and said, "I'll be back in person next year." He was looking right at E3 through the camera, you know, like, yeah.
Which E3 2023 has been confirmed by the Electronics Entertainment
what's funny is
Expo and the ESA.
Jeff with Gee Hoff with the Summer Games Fest he put on an industry event where they got to go play the games announced. So in his own E3 happened.
Yeah,
That was
They're
just press and stuff.
They're going to be on opposite ends of the street screaming at each other next year.
I can't wait.
I, for one, am here for that.
Can't wait to go.
But I mean, when Jeff Keighley can get on the stage and show a trailer for a game as huge as Dead Island 2.
Yeah, right. I love the Dead Island 2 trailer in the Summer Game Fest. It looked really good. A little wacky. I didn't know they added goats to Dead Island 2, but I'm here for it.
Amazing.
I juked so hard. Just absolutely. I was like, hell yeah, it's coming. And then the goat came in and I was like, son of a bitch.
I was like, can you still call it an uncanny valley if it's goats? Like, The trailer looked great, but something was wrong, and I think everyone who was like looking forward to Dead Island 2 just like knew it was like there's something not quite right.
Are people actually looking forward to Dead Island 2?
Yeah,
not anymore. They're not.
Definitely.
Oh.
Like it was just funny to watch like Twitter too. I mean, it's been 8 years, so there's probably a huge chunk of gamers that were watching that it just went over their head. They had no idea.
They were in like preschool when that came out.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that's true. Fuck.
Yeah, you're getting old.
E3 2014.
The biggest bamboozle to me with Goat Sim is I didn't know there was a 2.
There wasn't.
Okay, that's the best part, right? Yeah. Like, I haven't Googled
Are
it
they
yet.
counting the like Modern Warfare one or whatever they called it?
So that's the thing. They released Goat Simulator, and then at least on consoles they released Goat MMO Simulator the Goat Z, the DayZ Goat thing as a separate game. On the PC, it was just DLC. So I've seen the Goat Sim 3 like a PR, like making jokes and making quips, like, you know, the threequel that you didn't even expect a sequel kind of thing. But it's like, well, you kind of already released the sequel, and with as much content as in your packages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I think for me, when it comes to Goat Sim, it's like I played the first one. You know, it was fun, wacky, silly, dumb. I sacrificed goats and became a Satan goat. You know, and like I don't know if I need a sequel necessarily.
I have 1,000 gamers scored both Goat Sim games. I'm really looking forward to this.
You're very excited.
I just remember playing the first one when it first came out and just giggling, like just jumping off trampolines and doing dumb shit, and it was so amusing.
Should I admit that I have never played Goat Simulator?
You can admit it, and then I'm going to tell you that you should go and play it.
You know, I think just having seen a trailer for it, I've experienced it. I think I'm good.
I think so.
There's a really fantastic in the Goat MMO Simulator that, you know, you're a goat in medieval times. You can make your way to like a far portion of the map, climb all the way up a mountain, very, very Skyrim horse style.
And there's goat just do that now too. What do you
and there's a weird break in the world, and you can hop in and you end up in the server room for the game.
Nice.
So one of the achievements is to just like destroy the server room, and it just crashes your game. You hard quit out to the landing page, and you get the achievement pop of like, hey, you broke everything. You destroyed the server.
That's awesome.
It's so fun and self-referential. For as much as you would probably hate to admit it, you would fucking love it. And it's like an hour experience to like get all of the giggles out of it that you want.
Yeah.
You've told me that story. I have therefore experienced it.
There you go. You know, maybe you don't need to play games anymore. Maybe it's just you come to this podcast once a week and hear people talk about the games.
I don't trust any of you to tell me anything's true.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is don't trust us for the truth. They're a bunch of liars.
Well, let's say that. Now people stop listening.
Yeah, that'll be it.
If they haven't already.
Yeah, that's what'll stop them. Metal Hellsinger. We got another trailer for that, and there's a demo out right now on Steam.
Bro, I have played the demo about 20 times.
Wow.
It slaps. I cannot wait for the OST.
So, is it metal as fuck?
It is. Like, I am typically not very rhythmic, as my wife loves to shit on me for. But, like, once you get the hang of the timing of the guns, and, like, you hit the 16x multiplier and the vocals come in, it's awesome. Because, like, up until you hit the highest level of multiplayer, it's just the, like, metal music, and then, like, you'll hit it, and the vocals go off, and it's just, I don't know. I can't describe it. It fucking slaps.
Of the 20 times you played the demo, which one was the best one?
Yeah.
The last one, because I didn't die at all that time. So that was like my best high score, I think.
Real pro.
There you go. Look out for Metal Hell Slinger guides from Rhett. Tell you how to play.
It's been a really fun synergy being built up between Is this a boomer shooter? I'm just assuming that it's a boomer shooter by the title.
It's like Diablo meets DDR, where you're basically just shredding demons to the beat.
There's just been a really fun invigoration adaptation of rhythm games and like metal music that has just really been meshing together well in the past 4 or 5 years. It's really cool to see.
And the vocalists they have lined up are superb. Just a stellar cast of vocalists that'll be on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They all scream a little differently.
Just a little bit. There's also Nightingale. There was that it's like that survival crafting.
Yeah, it's the Harry Potter game.
Yeah, well, I think that's the other game.
Oh.
I think you're thinking of one of the ones that was in Day of the Devs, the like Magic Academy or whatever.
That was Escape Academy. It's about escape rooms. Sir.
No, there was another one. There was like another Witchcraft
I love
Academy.
this time of year. We've been bombarded with so many amazing trailers of different games, different genres, different
there have been a shit ton of really cool games.
Yeah,
I feel like this has been the most packed E3 in a long time.
I think it's maybe not for big announcements, but for just breadth of a lot of cool stuff. Yes,
indie devs have been turning out. I think
indie devs have been killing it.
This week I heard for the first time the phrase "triple I game."
I've heard that before. I saw Troy used it, didn't he?
Yeah, and it was just like, ooh, triple I, like that's cool. I hope that we don't get to the point that we are now with the quadruple I.
No, I don't know. I don't see that ever being like a totally.
There's been some fantastic fucking turnouts.
Yeah,
for sure.
But Nightingale looks cool. I mean, I'm a big kind of survival crafting, exploration RPG person, and I kind of like the idea of like you create cards that open portals to other worlds, so that you kind of tie the crafting into extra exploration, which I think could be kind of a neat concept to see in action.
Hell yeah. And you said you're also excited for Warhammer 40k Darktide, right? Like that's like Vermintide but in 40k.
Yeah, well, technically Vermintide is still 40k. It's just medieval 40k.
You know what you're talking about,
right?
Warhammer Vermintide is in the Warhammer fantasy universe. It's very different.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
And then Otten just actually him.
No, there's Warhammer fantasy, and then there's Age of Sigmar, there's Horus Heresy, and there's 40k.
Got it. Go play with your miniatures.
I'm just saying. You know what's funny about that? I've read fucking nothing about it. I just have osmosis. I just know these things now. I've not read a thing. We've gone over this in the podcast before.
Welcome to the most toxic podcast on the internet.
So basically, Darktide is Vermintide, but in really, really high definition. It's in 40k.
Basically.
So exactly.
No, it's Darkside is to Vermintide as Fallout is to Elder Scrolls.
And that made my head hurt.
No. These are good games.
Darktide looks like it's shaping up. Like one of the devs was talking about it yesterday about how there's going to be more. If you want it to be an FPS, it can be an FPS for you. So there's going to be kind of the emphasis on guns. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is, as much as I loved Vermintide, the gear grind was frustrating. In terms of like, deconstruct, build. Okay, cool. I finally got something I want. So I hope they improve on that.
That would be nice. I wonder how much they're going to make it, since it's going to be gun heavy. How are they going to make it feel not Left 4 Dead?
Well, they did also say, he said like that there will be times where you get essentially forced into having to use melee. That they want there to be a fair amount of shooting, but also there's going to just be times where you have to use melee. Like the situation demands it.
Yeah, I will say when I was watching the footage, like the melee part looked the most fun to me. Just like, I mean, as someone who has very cursory knowledge of 40k, the coolest thing in the universe are those chain swords.
Yes.
And just using those, that sounds so fucking rad.
Yeah.
They're pretty great.
It's nice to hear the emphasis on the gunplay as well, because we've had like a couple of the Left 4 Dead likes for lack of a better term, Anacrusis, Back 4 Blood, that have like come out and have been like good games or enjoyable games, but have felt like kind of floaty or that if there's a focus on like there should be an FPS first and then a 4-person cooperative like a group shooter get through a level. I'm hoping that really means that it's going to show some high quality.
I am going to disagree with you, sir, and go the opposite direction.
I implore you to disagree, sir.
Because so many games get good enough shooting. Like, is it the best? Nah. Is it passable? Yes. Very few games get even okay melee combat. It usually sucks ass. And it's like the Elder Scrollsy, like, kind of blows. So a game that can do that well. Yeah, first person stuff, it's always kind of blows, and so stuff that can make it like weighty and like feel something. And Vermintide did that okay, it's pretty good. Yeah. And if they can do that even more in Darktide, I am way in. Because so few games, it's always an afterthought. It's basically like, just swing it, and that's the end of it. They don't put any more thought into it.
It's a whole lot of like rotating the left stick as you like move close and further away from your enemy while just like mashing the right trigger.
So I would really love something that leans into that more, because you can always get decent enough shooting. Like, could it be better? Sure. Yeah, that's one of the things that I liked about Vermintide, is that the melee was actually like pretty all right.
Well, yeah, and in Vermintide, if you go above normal, you go into veteran mode, you have to learn to parry.
Oh God!
If you don't, you just get decimated. You have to have the timing down. So for me, Vermintide always had like that extra level of complexity where you weren't just slashing. Once you get into the higher levels, you actually have to learn kind of, okay, here's how I handle these enemies.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the big things between Vermintide and like something like a Left 4 Dead. You got your ass handed to you. Even on lower if you weren't doing things the right way, it's not just a spray and pray, go through whatever you want thing. You get your ass handed to you.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Bill's here.
Bill.
Well, so you were talking about how it's easy to get good shooting.
Or serviceable shooting, anyway.
Yeah, at least, right? How do we all feel about the shooting in Witchfire?
I think it looks dope.
That looks really neat.
It seemed like the Dark Souls of shooting.
I did not realize it was.
Come on, man! Don't say that.
It was very
Where's
deliberate.
Your self-respect?
Well, Cliffy B said it, and it didn't really work out for him with Lawbreak.
What is that comparison?
So you're dooming Witchfire.
No, this looks way better. This has style.
Okay. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize it was a roguelike either.
They even said shit about it.
I saw that word used somewhere yesterday, and I was like, wait, what?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I need to find the article I saw again, but
I don't know what a roguelike is. I know what a roguey wogie is.
Roguey wogie. I apologize.
Shut up.
I am so sorry. Listen, I am still extremely shitty that Austin tagged me in the Slack.
Period. Go on.
And said that Jeff said Rogie Wogie, and I got very excited because that would have been.
He thought he said
fun.
that on stage at Summer Game Fest on stream.
Yeah, he tagged me and said that he did, and then I come to find out that that's a lie. And Austin, you were dead to me.
It's funny, right? It looks like someone's written Gullible on your whiteboard behind you too.
Oh, you should turn around and check to be sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh no! It's just a duck.
It's kind of like how we could hear when Sam dabbed. You could hear him turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to that one, right, you hear Sam dab. You can hear
God.
It.
Is he just like going back and forth?
But it was like muffled by cloth.
Yes,
you could hear it. It was the worst experience.
Beautiful. Amazing. I'm excited for Neon White, and that's coming out soon. Like that's this week.
Less than a week.
Like
4 days. 3 days from when this goes live.
Right? It's Thursday, right?
Such a weird concept for a game. I'm really curious how it works out.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm so interested in it, right? I mean, it has a lot of style. The style reminds me so much of Paradise Killer, but then the gameplay itself is like speed running, first person shooter, card battler thing.
Yeah, strange.
Right?
Your guns are decided on a deck building thing.
Yeah. It's like I really want to get my hands on that. I just kind of feel like, because it's one of those things where on paper it really shouldn't work. It doesn't sound like it should be fun, but Just every bit of footage
might end up being
good.
that it hasn't come out.
It's true. That's true. It could very well end up being that. But I'm just curious to see if it does or doesn't, you know?
I have, surprisingly, a positive twist on what Otten has said.
What?
It looks like one of those games that has that like skill curve that you're going to start and feel kind of wonky to it. But some of like the smooth running segments of like leaping down, ground pounding enemies, killing them all, ziplining, like that looks like the kind of game that you're going to come out of a session playing and be like, I feel good. Like I feel like I nailed some sick jumps there.
I don't know enough about it. Has it or like is the card draw like random? So is it like let's say you build a deck, but you obviously draw a card at random from the deck you've built. Like, how much would that, like, throw off your rhythm? Like, oh, I'm using this, and all of a sudden, oh, fuck, I have to change it up completely because I got this.
That's what I'm curious about, too.
Right.
How smooth that
like
card
combos,
interaction is.
Or, like, you building up combos where you build a deck where it's in an intentional order so that you're going through you're getting, what card's next kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a give and take, right? Because I think first-person shooters are all about improvising, right?
Sure.
Like, it's hard to plan things out all the time, whereas like card battlers are all about that planning, like 4 steps ahead, right? So I think that's going to be the tension in this game, is like, where are they going to find the sweet spot between those two feelings, right?
In those like card building or like those roguelites and stuff, it'll probably also just mean that like you have a run that lasts 10 minutes and you feel crap and nothing happened, but then you have like that other run where like the stars align, you get all of the best moves, the best combos, and it just like it feels good. It's like you're always chasing that high kind of setup.
I just thought of it because it seemed like a pretty fast paced game, and it's like, oh, it'd be like a bummer card or like one that you're not as excited about, like really throws you off in the middle of it.
I get you.
Definitely.
Yeah. We got the new Dragon Quest. The new One Piece game that looks a lot like Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest.
It looks so like Dragon Quest 11, dude.
Oh.
In a good way.
Yeah, that's actually one thing that watching this latest trailer of One Piece Odyssey, I really came away from. It's like they haven't tried to do like the 3D models that try to look like 2D. They've done enough to differentiate it that it like Chopper looks good, not because they've done a decent job making Chopper look like a 2D character, but because he looks like a nice soft 3D character.
Yes.
What do you mean by that? What are you getting at?
He's a very soft
he's
boy.
a Tanuki. Well, he's a Tanuki.
I thought it was a reindeer.
I'm just always on.
Sorry, he is a reindeer. He jokes about how he's not a Tanuki.
Oh.
My bad.
I'm just always on the Rule 34 alert is all.
Right.
Shut up.
God damn it.
Yeah, the
There's
One
gotta
Piece
be
crew.
some of him.
Oh,
probably, yeah.
Literally, Rule 34 is if it exists, there is like you can't say. Well, there's got to be some. There is.
Okay, let me see.
That's
let me
literally
clarify.
the rule.
No, don't look it up.
There must be some good stuff out there.
Yeah, you can look it up. We're going to keep
plenty of
talking
stuff
about
out there, but
One
I'm talking about
Piece
this.
Odyssey.
You can look it up, just don't share your screen.
But no, I dig the idea. Another upstream kicks them to an island that no one knows about. It's a good way to create a storyline in the One Piece universe that
if I know nothing about it or have played it, should I play it?
I mean,
it's
it
hard
looks
to
like
say.
it's going to be a
If it
fun
plays
RPG.
like Dragon Quest,
I don't think it's going to be turn-based.
I think it is, right? Didn't they say it's turn-based?
Did they?
I think so.
I mean,
That'd be neat.
It's a JRPG, so
Yeah, no, I think this is like truly it's like Dragon Quest, but One Piece.
Well,
I
I'm
enjoyed
intrigued.
Dragon Quest.
Yeah,
because the last one was like full, like open world.
The Pirate Warriors or whatever.
No, there was the Pirate Warriors. There was the Muso. There was One Piece.
There's a lot
New
of One
World
Piece
or
games.
something. One Piece. Luffy's Great Adventure.
Is it Luffy or
Luffy.
Luffy? Or
It's
Luffy?
Luffy.
Lufa?
It's Luffy, not
Luffy.
Lufa.
Luffy.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are heinous. What the hell? World Seeker.
Yeah.
World Seeker was an open world like ARPG set in One Piece. It did a good job. I think we reviewed it pretty all right. But it feels weird to go from like an action anime and turn it into a turn-based game. But also, they've just done that with Demon Slayer, I want to say, and the Fairy Tail turn-based RPG was also pretty competent.
With Yakuza, man.
Yeah, well, and I thought Demon Slayer was a action game, right?
Was it? God, I'm all over the place with my anime games.
Oh no, it's like they're all too similar.
Well, now I'm trying to double check just to see if One Piece Odyssey is turn-based or not, because now I'm like doubting myself.
Believe in yourself.
It's going to be exciting. I mean, we were talking a little bit before the pod. I'm the only one that's caught up on One Piece. Rob's the only one that also is following it.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. I know that One Piece fans are yearning for more info, especially with like anime and manga announcements here and there. So people are going to be chomping at the bit for everything more Luffy.
Right. And just confirmed. Yeah, Luffy will be fighting in turn-based combat in this one. Yeah. So I think it'll be fun. I mean it. Let's see. Well, I think one of the great things about it is that, like, when you look at the One Piece characters, they're all so... I mean, everyone knows, right? Like, if you follow One Piece, the cast is so crazy and wild, and, like, imagining them in turn-based... like, seeing them in turn-based combat, right? Like, I could see that being a lot of fun, and just watching them do their thing. Looks like Bandai Namco.
Well, are they the developer? Well, yeah. Ilka. Who's Ilka?
Ilka?
Yeah.
Nothing. What's the Ilka with you?
You didn't answer my question. Why is he all stretchy?
He ate a fruit.
That's a great question.
Is that how that works?
Oh, man.
Saying things to hurt Stretch.
I have a feeling that there are things that happen in the recent chapters where you're just like, I can't say anything. Is that what's going on right now? I can't say anything. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah.
He ate a fruit.
He ate a fruit.
That's why he's stretchy.
Oh, man. That's a stellar question to ask. And boy, am I exploding inside wanting to talk about it.
You're talking about recent stuff. Hasn't he been always stretchy?
Or wait, is the recent thing that this
always
is a dream?
Been stretchy.
Is the past 1,000 chapters a dream this whole time? Is that what's been going on?
Yeah, he wakes up.
No. Hey guys, what's next up on for what we want to talk about today? Because otherwise, this is going to become a One Piece podcast, and I'm about to start spewing some.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.
We can be the first One Piece pod.
I just had one question. My God.
Yeah, it's a big one, I guess. The Last of Us.
Last of Us, Part 1.
Last of Us.
Yeah, I got a bone to pick here.
The brand new old adventure.
Is it that Joel is no longer a DILF?
Speak more on that.
Speak more on that? He doesn't
expand on that.
He doesn't look as fuckable anymore, you know?
How dare you?
All right.
So judgmental.
Yeah.
You're telling me Joel propositions you. You're saying no?
Oh,
the new Joel?
It depends. I'm a married man.
He shows up.
I can window shop.
He's got the newest One Piece that's not even out yet, ready to read with you.
Yeah. No. What if he's like, I know what happens next,
and he's like, you know what? We can play some D&D later if you want. I role play elsewhere also.
Joel, you drive a hard bargain.
Yeah. Tell me you're saying no.
So Otten, you have a bone to pick with The Last of Us.
I do.
Well,
do you want to hear about it?
Yes. No, I was just going to let that go. And we'll move on.
Great improvisational skills. No but.
It's fucking $70. Sony.
Oh, that's your bone.
Well, yeah, because it's a PlayStation 5 game.
No,
that's what they've told us.
It's not a new game. I know it's they remade it from the ground up or whatever fucking bullshit they want to use. $70 fucking. Are you kidding me?
Demon's Souls was a $70 game.
Yeah, but that was like they did some new stuff. They've given no indication that there's actually like much new.
I think
Horizon Forbidden West was a $70 game.
That
wasn't a remake.
That was a new game.
Yeah, but it was $60 on PS4. I'm not sure what you're complaining about.
Yeah, that's also a problem.
I think
multiple things can be problems at once. I don't have to pick one thing.
If only there were like some sort of subscription service of some kind that you could pay for and get it day one. Man, that would be great, wouldn't it?
If Sony had that, they'd be on top of the world.
Yeah.
So actually, I mean, in amongst, did we bring up for the state of play that
PlayStation Extra?
Stray is going to be day one on PlayStation Plus Extra.
Yeah.
So they're trying it.
So when you weigh the like 1,200 games Xbox announced today versus the one, one's got a cat.
Cute kitty, right?
Cat and a perna.
But so here's the thing. I agree with you that 70 is a lot. Also, I feel like the Last of Us remake would have been the perfect day one on PlayStation Game Pass, because I think it hits that sweet spot of it's not that brand new, but it does look prettier, right? Yep. And it's just, there's a generation of people out there who haven't played The Last of Us, probably, right?
The Last of Us is their, even though maybe it's not the highest selling game that Sony has, it is their prestige drama game. It is the game.
It's literally going to become a drama on HBO Max.
It's the series for it.
It still feels weird to me that like we have not only had a port, but now this is a quote unquote remake of Last of Us. It never felt like The Last of Us left the public consciousness for long enough that the game released 8 years ago, and has been available on every single generation of PlayStation since. And it just feels kind of weird. I guess it's like that same feeling that you have when you think that like PlayStation 2 games are retro. And it's just like,
they are.
What? Like it's weird to be like, oh, part 1 of Last of Us ported to PS5, and it's like, I can already play it on my PS4. I can play it on my PS3. Like it looks good. It doesn't need this.
But the graphics, the new graphics.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, I mean, the graphics look better, but it's like, did we need that?
So I know we've all been shitting on it a little bit. I'm totally gonna play it. I'm totally gonna play through it.
I don't know. I mean, I might, but I'm also like,
I haven't played it since I played the original.
Yeah,
since it came out on PS3.
I mean, I know they said they're gonna do like combat upgrades or whatever, right? So we don't know exactly what that means, but it comes out.
I wasn't even much of a fan of the combat in the original. It kind of fell into the same thing as Uncharted for me. And I know that this is going to sound stupid and biased coming from the self-professed Xbox shill to say that, I've played all of Last of Us 2, but the combat being like pop up, take a shot, drop back down, pop up, take a shot, drop back down, or like
it's Mass Effect.
Walking in, I'm not much of a fan of Mass Effect either. Thank you for adding validity to what I'm saying.
It's a third-person
but it's just
shooter.
like you walk into a new room and it's like, oh, there's random barrels positioned everywhere. Like there's no combat happening. But I bet after this cutscene, when I turn around, there's going to be 13 enemies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I like the combat in 2 a lot more. It did feel a lot more visceral.
I agree.
And yeah, so
2 combat was definitely better.
Yeah, so if 1 gets a little more like 2, maybe I'm interested. But I'm also like, I don't play The Last of Us for that sick combat, bro. Like, I'm not looking to be a pro elite gamer.
Yeah, I was trying to, I was thinking when you said that, I was like, man, there's actually, I don't remember a lot of shooting. Like, yes, you did fight some stuff, but it was a lot of like, oh, fuck, I better avoid this.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling, like a stealthy kind of almost.
Mm-hmm. Hey, some insider baseball. So we're recording this live during the PC gaming show. Fun fact. And hey, Otten, they're showing Prison School.
Demon School.
Yeah.
I'm on
Demon
top.
School.
This is the Persona
not
game.
Prison School. Yeah, Prison School was the depraved fucking manga.
Oh God.
Yeah.
No, Demon School. It's just to, I guess, plug it here. Why not? It's a Persona-like game. I mean, you could probably tell by the name. It's basically if someone was like, "What's that demon? The school with the demons thing?" They'd say, "Oh, Persona."
You mean Demon School?
Persona.
Yeah,
Demon School. Yeah. Okay. But back to The Last of Us. I don't know. I think what maybe disappointed me more is like I know Jeff set a high bar, like Elden Ring was the big, one more thing at the end of last year, right? And then this year it's like I like concept art, piece of concept art
that was
for
a bummer.
the new standalone multiplayer thing. A reminder that the HBO show is a thing.
Yeah, not even a clip. I almost thought they'd show a clip for sure.
No, it was just a still, right? Yep. And then a pretty remake of a game that's like 10 years old. And that was remastered on PS4. Like, I don't know.
It also doesn't help that like the hottest new leaker on the market, The Snitch, released it, and then PlayStation themselves
say that Sony did it, yeah.
also leaked it via their PlayStation Direct. So at that point, like we'd already seen the trailer, we'd already heard the news. It was definitely less impactful for that reason as well.
I think that similar to what we said with this feels so weird to tie Last of Us to Goat Simulator, but similar to what we were saying with Goat Simulator, a little bit with the Dead Island 2 thing, that there's a whole like a big generation of people that never played it. I think that also fits for Last of Us. With that said, Last of Us Part 2 came out a little while ago, and I'm thinking the ones that wanted to play it probably got it in between then, not knowing this was coming.
Yeah.
And played it. So if this was announced a year ago, maybe 16 months ago, hell yeah. Now it's like, boy.
If it was like a Part 2 is coming out, and in the meantime, here's Part 1.
Yeah, that would have made sense. But
I can't wait to play the Part 2 remake in about 2 years.
Pay $30 for the Part 2 PS5 upgrade.
Yeah. Well, no, it's gonna be that Part 2 hits PC and PS5. No, isn't it already on PS5?
Well, it's not. No,
you just play the PS4 version.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I played it on my PS5.
Yeah.
I think. No, maybe not.
Yeah. I played it on my PS4, I think. But, Rudd, I do think Last of Us is coming to PC as well. Like, the plan is
He said it was coming a little later.
Yeah. Yep.
A little later it's coming to PC. Yeah.
So you just have to wait a little bit more to find out what happens between Joel and Ellie 10 years ago.
Dude, you're going to play that with a keyboard and mouse. That's going to be weird.
I can't wait for the mods where they put, like, they replace Joel as Squidward and Ellie as SpongeBob.
Oh, man, that's going to be
great. Play the whole game like that.
Oh, I didn't even think about the modding potential.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna get weird. It's gonna get weird.
Maybe on like fan projects, you think Sony's like, you know what, we're opening the Steam Workshop for Last of Us. Not happening.
Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good wrap on the Summer Game Fest. I think later that day, wasn't it the Devolver show?
Well, there was Devolver, there was Day of the Devs, there was the Wholesome Direct.
God, I'm already exhausted.
I didn't watch the Wholesome Direct, but Day of the Devs was just like one awesome indie after another.
Before we get too into like the few things that we want to talk about for like that Devolver showed, Devolver has become so meta that they have wrapped back around to, I think that the gimmick of their next show is that it's just going to be a normal press show.
It'll be like
there seems to be
Direct.
A lot on like on the importance of the numbers of just showing trailers.
Mm-hmm.
So I legitimately think that next show is just going to be them saying, "Hey, we're doing this newfangled thing. We're going to do an hour show where we show you a series of trailers for games. You won't see any other people. It's just going to be trailers for games."
They're just going to reverse engineer a normal presser.
Yep.
Or they have this one hosted by Swery, because they had Suda. You know, they're kind of counterparts to one another.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, this one, I did enjoy the fun little narrative about the video game singularity, where essentially all video games will become one video game. Everyone will acquire everyone, and we will all be at peace.
Well, when you get the red orb from Elder Scrolls Avowed 12, and then you can transfer that to Call of Battlefield 2038, and it's all gonna make sense.
Yeah.
And then about that
Exactly.
time, the Cyberpunk 2077 bugs will be all worked out.
Right. It'll probably be around 2077, but yeah. In terms of games, I don't think they showed off that many trailers. I feel like if you
They
take
never
a
do.
pie
They usually
graph,
do like 3 or 4.
it's mostly skit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which
30
I'm not
minutes.
complaining about.
No.
But Angerfoot,
Hell yeah.
fucking Angerfoot. You just kick down doors and people
That
and
is my
things.
favorite title of any game so far. It's a top tier name of all time.
It really is. Like
It,
Angerfoot almost sounds like a fake video game that a kid is playing in a movie.
Yeah.
So good. It looks so stupid.
Yeah, it gave me real like first person Hotline Miami,
Yes.
Yeah.
but just like dial the stupid up to 12. But I think that's what we can expect from Devolver a lot of the time.
Yeah, and what's funny about it is that it was totally one of those games. If I had not seen what showcase it was in, that's where I would have guessed. This is a Devolver game, right? Like,
It's such a Devolver game.
yeah.
Yeah, no, Angerfoot looks rad, and I am excited to try that out. Because, like you said, it's the Hotline Miami vibe that I think
Absolutely
it's really
is.
nailing. And then we also saw Plucky Squire, which I think Otten, you're excited about this one, right?
It just didn't know about it, and it was just really like I love the creativity of it. Like I think that we've seen stuff like when it goes from 2D from a book to 3D when the character's running around like the bedroom or wherever he's at. That kind of stuff we've kind of seen before a little bit. But I love the creativity where it looked like there was a level playing out on like a coffee mug, and that becomes a little platformer. So stuff like Stretch had said before we recorded, like stuff like Odyssey did that cool 2D stuff that you could find. So
Mario
it definitely
Odyssey,
gives those
Link
vibes.
Between Worlds.
Yeah, it looks like the new Zelda game, the remake of I'm blanking on it. Link's Awakening, right?
Oh, yeah. Link's Awakening.
Yeah, it kind of gives that look for the 3D style. Anyway.
Chibi art style.
Yeah, I like the look of it quite a lot.
Yeah, no, it's very cute and charming. Before we get into the Xbox and Bethesda show, Stretch, that you wanted to highlight 9 Years of Shadows.
Yeah, so this was something that apparently was announced last year that was totally off my radar. I'm like a big fan of those Metroidvanias that you can like dive deep into. Also a big fan of games that like power sets aesthetically change your character.
Yeah, puzzle
in the same way
platformers,
that
that's
like
what they are.
What was that?
Metroidvania. You like puzzles, and that's what Metroidvanias are, just puzzle platformers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, in Metroidvanias, like the world is a puzzle. Like, how can I use my moveset? 9 Years of Shadows totally took me by surprise. That is, I think, still so far like my biggest game that I'm looking forward to this Keeley 3 season.
Hot Gee Hoff Summer, yeah.
Yep. Like just a gorgeous pixel art Metroidvania. It's even got like the Metroid tunnels and stuff. But the shifting colors and shifting power sets, according to what I'm going to assume is like defeated bosses, a la Mega Man XZ, Mega Man ZX. That's it.
ZX,
which was like one of the DS Metroid games. That looks fantastic, and the artwork, the animation was very like Saturday morning cartoons. It's just like a really neat pull, and it's just like checked off every little box in my mind to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna sink some hours into that probably next year.
Is it
Or
coming
gonna see
to
when it
Game
comes out.
Pass?
No, it's not.
Are you
Or
going
at
to
least
spend
it
So
hasn't
it
been
didn't,
announced
so
for
it
it at the
didn't
moment.
check every box then, huh?
I can like games that aren't on Xbox.
Are you sure?
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
about that.
You were just shitting
Yes,
all over
I
Last
can.
of Us, so I don't know how I can trust that.
Yeah, but I also shit on Mass Effect, and I'm probably gonna get some hate for that. So
That's true. Well, anybody that's like, oh, the shooting in those were great, you can fuck off.
that's true.
It's a cover shooter. There was the heyday of that where it's like,
Yeah.
it was so. Like at the time, I was
Oh.
like, this was all right.
Same with Gears of War.
Yep. Well, that's the one. Those were the ones that all made it.
Yeah. No, I'm not much of a fan of Gears of War as well. So there's going to be my it's okay for me to hate on Last of Us.
That's right.
Because I also hate on Gears of War.
There you go. So
speaking of Game Pass.
Speaking of Gears of War on Game Pass, Xbox, which we're pretty fresh off of. We like just as of this recording, it was like 2 hours ago now, maybe ish. Less than that even. And they open up with just some footage of Redfall, which I'm going to say it now, it's Arcane doing Borderlands.
But less charming. I don't know. Came away, I was like, Redfall, I like the idea of it. That gameplay was like, I like you, Arcane, but I don't know, that just didn't do for me.
Yeah, I mean, it looked fun in the same way Borderlands is fun, where you have all those powers and gadgets, and then like the guns, right, and just running around and shooting up shit.
It's kind of sandboxy, right?
Yeah, and then you can like co-op it or solo it.
I don't know, the enemies and stuff just didn't do it for me. It looked kind of...
Yeah, I kind of have to agree.
A little bit.
Maybe I'm just... Whatever the one that came out earlier this year was that I'm blanking, or late last year that I'm blanking on.
Back for Blood?
Back for Blood, that's the one.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just has me jaded.
We talked about that 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, we said it
that's
in the
true.
show.
That's how memorable that game has been for me.
We all played it together, actually.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I think I wasn't able to make those sessions, but you guys all played it together.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
That's just how memorable. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'll have to see it before I make a decision, like the final version.
Yeah.
But like, nothing about that gameplay jumped out at me.
Well, it just kind of looked bog standard a little bit. Like we've said, we were mentioning talking about Darktide earlier. We were talking about bringing up Back 4 Blood and all these Left 4 Dead likes. It kind of just felt generic shootery with the random little abilities thrown in.
It feels added to the pile.
Yeah. And I was hoping for a little more, because Arcane usually is like, does some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it was just a bad trailer that didn't show things off well.
Yeah,
like
it could be.
We've had that before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what we saw just didn't. This wasn't like I need
click.
this. Yeah, it didn't click.
Which is a bummer, because it's looked all right. That cinematic they had the last, what was it, Game Awards, or was that the last E3? I can't remember. Whenever they announced it,
that was the last
pretty
E3
cool.
that they announced.
It was E3.
Yeah, it looks good.
It was a neat,
and that
neat
cinematic.
Yeah.
But it was also the cinematic very much, it made it feel like it was set up to be more similar to Dishonored. Like the idea of it is going to be story-based, you're in a town, you're fighting weird
Well, it almost felt like it was
things.
a co-op-y thing with characters.
Yeah, and then they kind of, then the trailer pivoted and it shifted to a very Back 4 Blood, Vermintide, Left 4 Dead-ish kind of.
But also like
vibe.
that cinematic also had this like humor and tone to it that I didn't get from this gameplay thing.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that's kind of throwing me to pulling up the trailer is like there's no HUD, there's no UI.
Yeah, so I guess
and that makes it feel really weird as well.
That may also just be part of marketing.
Yeah.
But they're just like not like, the UI is still in dev, so they're not going to show base like, Arial font health 100 kind of shit on the screen.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think Redfall has a lot to prove, because it's a pretty competitive market for co-op survival shooter type things.
Yeah. Well, the one thing with Arcane is that like you might not, maybe some of the other stuff you feel lacks or whatever, but they've always been really good at combat and stuff, being like inventive and having a lot of cool shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I would trust that they would nail that in some way, or at least make it good.
Right.
Even if the other stuff people don't like as much, maybe.
Yeah. You're right. It is a really competitive space. Mm-hmm. You've got a lot of great co-op shooters that have been coming out over the last, couple years. Like Deep Rock and some of the others that just provide a unique experience. So they're definitely gonna have to stand apart.
Mm-hmm. we got to see the new game from Squanch Games. We saw High on Life. You might recognize it as Rick and Morty, but not Rick and Morty.
That's right. Justin Roiland doing his mini
Justin
voices.
Roiland being Justin Roiland.
Yeah. Hey, well, and I'm excited that one of the guns is JB's move. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it just seems very silly and like playful, and like you're there for the jokes and the humor. Like if you are a big fan of Rick and Morty, first off, congratulations on your quadruple digit IQ.
Yeah.
But this is probably the game. Probably the game.
Can they even understand what we're saying
yeah.
anymore, or are we just too simple?
I think we're too dumb.
Oh. We have to like ascend to a certain level of communication that we can't comprehend.
Yeah.
Talking like equations.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think Rick and Morty is charming in its own way, right? So I think like this game, if it has more of that, like, I mean, Justin Roiland,
Rick and Morty's fine.
Nails that pocket of comedy that he is in. You
the
know,
one that he has that's his.
Yes.
Nobody else
He made it. He's allowed to do what he wants in that space.
He's the one guy.
So I mean, if it's just more of that in video game form, I'm sure it's going to find an audience.
And what's nice that we were
fun.
talking about a little bit before is that it's nice to see it in a if people are watching more of his stuff, to see it in a little more accessible way that's not tied to like a VR game or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is about what they've done a lot of before.
Yep. Oh, I guess we should say off the top too, pretty much all of these games we're talking about for the rest of the show is going to be on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Right. Like High on Life is going to be Game Pass day one.
Yeah, I think there was they showed like the roadmap, because everything that was announced at the Xbox and Bethesda show is going to be available in the next 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
Of obviously, not including any delays that they can't take into consideration. But I think I counted like
I don't remember seeing that small print anywhere.
I think I counted like 36 or something day one Game Pass titles in the next 12 months. Which just like this dumb narrative that has been going around, not even Xbox inclusive, but just video games inclusive, that 2022 has no games or whatever.
If you're a lame streamer that only plays AAA
43.
games, that's true.
43? 43 games in 12 months, average of 3 to 4 per month. That's stupid.
Right? When people say that kind of stuff, they're almost always just talking about AAA games, because of everything we're going to talk about, indie games are they killed it this year.
But you've got all these AAA games.
Yeah, that's dumb. But that's what people are getting at. For the AAA space, it's definitely like a down year. There's not as much like super big flashy stuff coming out for sure.
Yeah, we've had a lot of
great indie games,
kind of breakout titles, I think, this year more than anything. I think, honestly, a lot of the AAA's kind of just not been up to par in comparison to what we've seen from indies. So,
Elden Ring notwithstanding.
Yeah, Elden Ring notwithstanding, I think it is kind of the exception.
But, it's a lot, and I think that show is a perfect example of where the landscape is at the moment, while we're waiting for a lot of these games to get to this new gen that we've been on for so long now, but still feels new.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like, not only have we been waiting for games, but then also COVID happened and the delays.
Yeah.
But also kind of what I'm personally looking forward to for the next big innovation is going to be Unreal 5.
Oh yeah.
But even then, we're still just getting snippets in a little tech demos and stuff of what Unreal 5 will be able to do.
Can't wait to see that.
So
Unreal 5 is going to be crazy.
In 2 years, AAA games are going to be bonkers, high fidelity, looking like a window into real life kind of BS. But for now, we're just kind of hanging out, and indie games are taking care of us because they love us.
They're great. And if you think Silk Song's coming out in the next 12 months, got a bridge to
it wasn't at the it's not gonna I mean, that game, we've known about it for 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
How long have we known about Silk Song?
My entire life.
It's been a while.
Feels like.
Has Super Meat Boy Forever come out yet?
Yeah, it came out, didn't it?
It did. Did it?
Fuck, I don't know. I don't remember.
I mean, like miracles can happen, right? We know Scorn is coming,
True.
and that was in the same.
We got another
bucket.
Half-Life game. It wasn't Half-Life 3, but it was another Half-Life game.
Exactly.
Duke Nukem Forever came out.
Did come out.
I thought it did.
Yeah, it came out a while ago.
There's even a couple of things on this list that kind of screen of all the stuff coming to Xbox and PC over the next 12 months that wasn't even in the show. Like,
oh, I guess the Kojima project definitely is not going to be out in the next 12 months.
Well, yeah. I mean, but they've got like Slime Rancher, Hello Neighbor 2, Party Animals, and a bunch of other ones that are coming to Game Pass that didn't even get a mention in this show. So this list is just packed.
Oh yeah. Which can I just say, because Stretch, you just said this a few seconds ago, the Kojima project should be the name of Kojima's next Xbox project.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like that should be the name of his last game.
The Kojima project.
Yeah, or that's going to be the name of the documentary made about him.
I was about to say, yeah, that's a big documentary name right there.
Oh yeah.
Have we ever had like a for lack of a better term, like video game celebrity as large as Kojima, that it's just like, I feel like he could walk into any development studio anywhere at any time and say, I'd be interested in collaborating. And everyone in that studio would just put down everything that they're doing and be like, yes, like, let's do this.
I mean,
Like,
Todd Howard.
he's achieved rock star status.
Yeah.
Todd Howard's the Kid Rock of... No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sorry, Todd.
My name is Todd.
I didn't mean it. But, I mean, it's kind of true.
Okay. I mean, yeah, there's Todd Howard. I mean, Miyamoto, right? I mean, I don't think he'd ever leave Nintendo.
Anybody would take his ideas as gold. Any advice he'd give?
I kind of like, I think of Kojima the same way that I think of like Studio Ghibli's Hayao Miyazaki. I feel like even if Kojima ever announced like, hey, this is my last project and I'm retiring, a year later he'd say, I'm back out of retirement and I'm working on something new.
Yeah, they keep pulling me back in.
Tom Brady comparison.
Yeah, Miyazaki can just not stop working, and I'm sure that Kojima will be like, he's such an auteur.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that stuff will just get like weirder and more eclectic as technology develops, and the idea of a story that Kojima.
I love the idea that he specifically called out. Didn't he specifically call out Microsoft's cloud stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am.
He called that out, and he called it out as a project that he's been waiting for technology to be ready for.
So excited for fucking bullshit he decides to do with that nobody's thought of.
Crackdown 4.
Something.
Well, that's the thing. There's now been 2 games that have reportedly, like, you know, were reportedly going to utilize the Xbox cloud above everything else, and that was Crackdown 4, using the computational power of the internet for lifelike simulations.
Do you mean Crackdown 3?
And there was also that MMO. There's going to be that Xbox only MMO that only ran on the cloud, so that you could run it on whatever system you wanted, and it would be like high fidelity, high graphics, and you just wouldn't need to worry.
I got nothing.
Isn't that stupid?
I don't remember that.
Because then it very quickly, they very quickly stopped talking about it, and then I believe
probably because they realized how
was
insane of an idea it is.
Yeah. But like, if there's going to be someone who finally cracks like really utilize, aside from like game streaming, who really utilizes the Azure servers that Microsoft has around the world for something stupid, powerful, stupid, amazing, it's going to be Kojima, and people will praise him for it, and it will be the second coming of Christ.
The ultimate Strand, the Strand game. Everybody's connected. Everybody somehow.
Death Stranding 3, The Search for Death Stranding 2.
I still can't. Well, I can, but it's so. He came out and was like, "This is a Strand type game." Like we all were supposed to just go along with what the fuck he was saying when he announced it. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, we're going to learn more about this Xbox project, and he's going to be like, "This is a cloud type game.
Call this a cloud steamer."
Yeah, it's a cloud-based adventure. You know, like it's going to be fucking weird, and that's why we love him.
That's right.
Yeah.
As long as he just keeps doing weird shit, I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't remember? Like, even if you didn't like Death Stranding, the original, like teaser for it, and then the camera moves down his throat, and you see the baby, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And that was how it ended.
Yep.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like initial trailer.
I want
was
more
just...
of that. So much stuff.
It's like you want to find out what happens next, right? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. We have Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, which we actually saw a bit more of that during the PC gaming show.
Did.
Mm-hmm.
That game looks a lot like God of War in its combat. Not a lot, but it has some of that
got
DNA.
Those vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's some, so you can like build camps and stuff. So I'm curious if it's like you're kind of expanding out, fixing the world type thing. They didn't talk too much about like the story or anything, but it looks great. There's clearly like specific bosses you're gonna fight. So I'm curious how the combat feels, because again, they didn't have a UI or anything showing. So
yeah,
it definitely looks interesting.
Mm-hmm. Like I think we have also made comparisons to it looks like Redfall, right? So I think that's the big question for it. Is it more like Greedfall or more like God of War? Right?
Interesting. It's made by the devs who made Ashen.
That shooter?
Game. No. This was another.
It was kind of a Souls-like.
Souls-like-ish, yeah.
Yeah.
But
it was more like it was more like low poly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like this is they proved it to somebody, and then when someone was willing to give them a bunch of money to make this.
Yeah. So maybe it'll have some of those kind of Souls-like components to it.
Maybe. I mean, I hope
we're seeing that with Steel
fun.
Rising too later this year. Seems to be kind of that seems to be the genre of choice for the year.
Yeah. It's A44 Games, in case anybody was curious of
right
the dev.
Minecraft is back
again.
Minecrafto.
Minecraft is back with Minecraft Legends, which is like a weird action RTS action strategy thing.
Yeah, it kind of looks like. Do you guys remember the game Overlord?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of looks like that. Like there was definitely. I mean, I think that we only saw the playable character like on a horse the majority of the time, but there was definitely like setting down like markers for where the minions should go.
Mm-hmm.
I have
So
no
kind
clue
of like
how
a
to take it.
real-time action tower defense thing. Which it fits Minecraft.
Minecraft Dungeons was fun as a Diablo-like. Like it wasn't amazing, like grab your attention, but it was enjoyable. It's really interesting to see how much they're like expanding the Minecraft setting with.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it's not like they're going to stop supporting OG Minecraft either. You know, like we're still going to see that game exist for years.
That's the moneymaker.
Years. Exactly, but it's nice to see that branch out.
They just merged the Java and the Windows version of Minecraft into like a single launcher. And like, if you only owned a Java, you now have the other version for free. If you only owned the other version, you now have the Java version for free. They're trying to like pull everyone together and like make a unified
metaverse,
Minecraft platform.
Minecraft metaverse.
M&M, they'll call
Gross,
it.
I hate it.
M&M's.
M&M. There it is.
It looked neat. It's always weird to me to see the Minecraft characters moving in like animations, not just like blanket swinging arms,
right? Like not stiff
in the regular game. To see them like turning and arcing and showing facial expressions, it's just odd.
Right, kind of like that Minecraft story mode.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah,
Patton Oswalt.
Yeah. We also saw Lightyear Frontier.
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
that's
a very
the new
fun
Pixar movie coming out in a few weeks.
Yeah, that's the one starring Chris Evans, Captain America himself. Yeah. No, Lightyear Frontier, it's that farming sim where you're in a mech and you're still farming, but just through the mech.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that to be Buzz's backstory.
It was humble beginnings before he became a space ranger. Is that what it was?
To Infinity and Beyond, is that?
Galactic Ranger?
Galactic Ranger. Yeah. So he's just a humble farmer before.
No, Starfleet.
Not
Starfleet.
Starfleet, Star Trek.
That's Star Trek.
No, that's Star Trek.
Star Command.
Yeah, Star Command. That's what it is. It's Star Command.
Okay. It took us a while, but we got there. Maybe.
Anyway, Lightyear Frontier. I'm sure they've never heard someone compare it to Buzz Lightyear before. I'm so unique.
Mm-hmm. It is a fun name to say though, Lightyear Frontier. But no, I think like just here at Tech Raptor, we have a lot of people who are into farming, crafting sim type games.
Well.
So that's just add another one to the pile, right? Another one to add to the list.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I think I like the style of it too. It reminds me a fair amount of like Astroneer.
Yeah, that's first I thought it was something like that.
Yeah, so that really appeals to me. I kind of like the non-realistic like crafting simulations. They're usually a little bit lighter and more chill. So
right.
Yeah, it's nice to have some that are not as like we're hardcore realism or something. It's like fuck it, where it's more like a slog. You're like, Jesus Christ, just let me make the fucking thing.
Yeah. So that one looks cool, and I mean, the big one was Persona coming to Games Pass.
Yeah,
fucking wild.
Stritch had a full meltdown in Slack with excitement.
This is another one that leaker was like, this is happening.
Another
right?
one that the snitch spoke about just this morning.
Are we really calling him the snitch?
That's what he calls
himself. That's his Twitter handle.
That's his Twitter handle? Oh, yeah. Shit.
Oh, that's the name on his Twitter handle. I think that like literally it's like at @insider_intel is super on the nose.
This man works for Microsoft.
Well, he leaked Sony stuff too. I think. I mean, if we want to go down the rabbit hole, I think that the most pervasive theory at the moment is that he's someone who works at YouTube to like have access to the back end,
to the back end videos.
But not only Persona 4 and 5, 4 Golden and 5 Royale that people have been clamoring for to get onto Xbox for years. This is the first announcement of Persona 3 Portable coming to new consoles, and at this point in time, the website doesn't say that it's going to be coming to like Switch or PlayStation at all. So at the moment, it's just odd. Like I'm not going to be surprised whatsoever if it does come to Switch and PlayStation, but there are also going to be day one Game Pass drops, which is also fucking huge. Mm-hmm. It's weird. It's very weird.
I've got to say, it is going to be very... You know, the weirdest thing of all this to me is going to be... Persona 5 has so much style and so much flair, and one of my favorite stylish things about it is the in-battle UI is so fucking special. Yes. You know, it's like you look at it and you know it's Persona 5. Mm-hmm. And it's so iconically L1, R1, X, circle, square, triangle. And that's going to not be that in October when it comes out to Game Pass. It's going to be like, what, RB, LB?
ABY.
Yeah, ABXY. Like,
well, X is on both, so we can't really be too surprised.
It's in a different space, though. Yeah, it's in the wrong place. So it's going to be really weird seeing screenshots of that come up.
And also, like, it's going to be not only Xbox, but also PC, but also cloud. And like, like sitting down, like even at home on my couch, like being able to, while watching something else, pull up Persona 5 on my phone with a controller plugged in, is just going to be nice. Like, that's a really good way, especially when you're in like those day segments between going into the different dungeons of the games. That's going to be really nice to just like sit back and you know, there's no time constraint. You don't need to worry about like a quick accuracy where a latent internet connection will like mess you up. You can just enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
we get it. You like Xbox? My God.
I would be saying the same thing if it was like a native mobile port of Persona 3.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing I'm curious about, right? Is like, so is this Atlas saying that Persona 3 Portable is the closest thing we have to a definitive edition of Persona 3,
right?
Right.
I really hope that they announce that they're like adding the, what is it, FES and Portable both have different stuff in them, right?
So FES has the expanded story. Like there's a whole nother episode like after the fact.
True ending.
Yeah. And the gameplay of it is, I don't know, it's like very pros and cons, because FES you can like run around the city and all of that, like in Persona 4 and 5, but you can't control your party members. And then in Persona 3 Portable, you can control your party members, but there's no extra story. And running around the town is just like a UI where like you're just an arrow and you point at where you want to go.
It's just weird that they have two different versions that have, you know, pros and cons. But I'm hoping that this means that we will get like a definitive version.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
We'll have to see. I mean,
That'd
either way,
nice,
like,
but I don't know. It's not really in their MO to do stuff like that. It feels like
no. If anything, I think the most we'll see from Atlas is like, I'm willing to bet we will see a Persona 6 announcement before a Persona 3 remake sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I just can't wait for people to play, if they've never played it, be like, oh, this should be, you know, as cute and as fun as Persona 5 and uplifting. And then they play Persona 3 where you literally shoot yourself in the fucking head.
to
activate.
Yeah.
It's also, they have it set up on the website so that like the furthest left image is 5 and then 4, then 3. So it might be that we know that 5 is coming out in October.
Yep.
For Game Pass and Xbox and PC and everything. But I wonder if that means that then like we'll get 5 and then we'll give it like 3 months and then we'll get 4. And then maybe after like another 3 months, we'll get 3. And by that time, they'll have been able to announce the Switch version, the PlayStation 4 and 5 version, that everything from FES is coming to this new like upgraded version kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be really nice, right? And I'm wondering too how much work they need to do for the for the Persona 4 version, because at least like it's on Steam.
Yeah, you figure that one's basically ready to go, right?
Yeah, like I don't know how much, like I'm no developer, I don't know how much back end shit I'm glossing over here, but I imagine jumping from Steam to Xbox is easier than jumping from PlayStation
Portable,
PS Vita to Xbox, right?
Very different architectures.
This PSP, that was before Vita. For
well,
PS3.
the Persona 4 Golden was Vita.
Oh, yeah, right? True.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the one that has the Steam release.
Yeah.
And then the last big thing, what was that, 10, 15 minutes of the Xbox showcase?
Kid Rock stepped out on stage and
he did.
Pulled
down his pants.
Gross. I hate it.
Starfield. Thoughts?
The combat, I don't have anything good to say about.
I think part of that was whoever they had playing the demo and whatever choices they made to be like, we're just going to have him walk very, very slowly and shoot at one person at a time was like, what are you doing, man? That was a very bad demo. I don't think it accurately showed it off.
It felt like a first gameplay showing for Sonic Frontier.
Yeah, I also couldn't tell if there was supposed to be an on-screen reticle or if they had that, again, with the UI omitted. It felt, maybe they were going for cinematic, but it felt weird.
I'm sure, UI is probably not.
I'm hoping that's all it is. But even like the health bars and stuff, it just looked kind of generic.
A bit.
Everything else was awesome. The combat just kind of.
I love that they put gummy ships in.
Yeah.
They took the great.
That I love. Because that reminds me of like in college doing like taking a Maya file that had a bunch of ship parts in it and like putting them together for fun.
Like digital kit bashing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And
anything
that's exactly what that felt like.
That can take something from Kingdom Hearts and put it in their game, I'm all for it, man.
Right.
Yes.
Makes it a better game. I'm hoping Donald and Goofy show up somewhere. There's 1,000 planets.
Yeah, they might be on one of the 1,000 planets.
There's 1,000 planets.
Yeah. Okay. So, we started talking, like when we were watching this in our Slack, we were like, "Oh, this kind of looks like No Man's Sky." And at first, we were joking.
Yeah, it continued.
And by the end, man, I don't know. When Todd said 1,000 planets, that was like,
that made me a little tired.
Sounded very familiar.
No, not even tired. More like, this isn't good. Like, this is not going to be a good game, I don't think.
When they did the first like zoom out to show like a solar system with like 5-6 planets, I was like, okay, cool. They're like taking a similar size bite that Outer Worlds took.
Yes.
But they're like expanding and giving you like more access to the world and not just a zone. But yeah, when it was like, oh, look at this planet, you can fly everywhere. I'm like, oh, but am I gonna want to go anywhere?
Yeah.
And I wonder if part of that is they want there to be a bunch of secrets they can hide everywhere. But again, those worlds looked huge.
Yeah.
It just.
Well, I wonder if part of it's got to be part of the long game where they're like, look, if we give the bigger the playground we give, the more unique situations we can put people in for like mods and shit for longevity.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, imagine like 10 years after the game is out, maybe like all those planets will have
someone's done some crazy shit on them.
Right.
Well, it's not multiplayer, is it? Like, it's not a shared world like No Man's Sky, so you're really just in your own universe.
Well, I think that's true. I'm
just
saying, they get a bunch of mods.
The weird part is, though, and like, I've heard this from Todd directly, is that you can be on any of the 800,000 different planets, and you can start going into a cave, and you will end up in Blackreach. It's just true. It's mind blowing.
You know what else is crazy about it? When you land on those planets and you see that mountain over there, you can just walk to it.
Yeah,
crazy.
You can climb up it. It takes a little bit of jumping, but you'll get there.
Or a horse, anti-gravity horse,
jumping. Yeah,
I mean, okay, the jetpack did look kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
you can like jetpack and boost around as you shoot.
Reminded me a bit of Elix.
Sure. But no, when I just, I don't know, I can't get over the 1,000 planets thing. I
think that's
because like at some point, because when you combine that with like they mentioned base building. And not just base building, but you're going to need to resource gather with your bases. I'm like, okay, so is it going to be like, I have to find a specific planet that's rich in this specific resource, go over there, build a base, build a home, and then build a refiner and build a miner and all of that shit, and then find another planet with, you know what I mean? It's just like that to me sounds.
Yeah. Well,
Astroneer, but bigger.
Like right away it showed like they highlighted some kind of specimen on the planet. Some kind of plant, and it's like, oh, that's No Man's Sky. Like, am I just collecting a bunch of shit everywhere?
Yeah. It's like it's like Skyrim and No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous, and at least one or two other space sim games just like had a child, and that's kind of what we're looking at here.
Now, what we could be seeing too, though, is like, let's say they have a bunch of unique locations that they have built, like towns and space stations and what have you. And cities on these planets, and then they're just like, oh yeah, and also here's all this other shit that you could just go do if you want or not. Like, here's this big sandbox, go do what you want. On top of it. So, I mean, they could still do some cool shit.
But imagine Garvey
Garbage?
in this game. Preston Garvey, the man who keeps calling you and says, this settlement's under attack. Please go to that settlement and save it. But...
oh boy.
Zoom it out and scale it out to 1,000 planets across 100 solar systems.
You have light speed, man, right?
I guess.
I have no idea if you do.
It'll be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you on the 1,000 worlds thing. It's like, it's a lot of those. A big problem with a lot of big games. It's a lot of breadth, not a lot of depth.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like if I put so much in here, they won't notice. If I just keep putting more things, and it's like, well, we're not gonna notice. Like,
yeah.
You let us explore 1,000 planets, we're gonna find some stuff.
It's
because I mean Bethesda games are notoriously buggy on launch, right? Which is what I think Todd was winking and nodding to.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine this shit? Like, oh yeah, I made my custom ship. This is totally not going to clip or be a problem with anything.
No, it'll be fine. Yeah. I mean, when Todd said, oh, like the journey of this, like we're working on the game and when we release that's when the journey begins. I'm like, yeah, the journey.
Yeah, that's when they they start doing all the QA.
Live QA.
But joking aside of that, didn't they say, isn't Starfield not on their engine? It's on a new engine. Didn't they finally move on from their garbage?
I hope so.
Thing that's been around for 20 years.
If they did, it didn't look like it, but
I feel like they said that they did. I could be wrong. Maybe it's Elder Scrolls 6 that's moved on from it. Maybe
Elder Scrolls 6 for sure. They said is in a new engine.
I knew that they said that they're seeing the end of the engine, which it's like, thank Christ, the thing sucks. Yeah. It's so old.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This still looks a lot like Fallout in space, Skyrim in space. Yeah. Like the way it moves and feels, like it is so familiar.
Well, I mean, that's what. I mean, if they strayed from that, what do you think people would say?
That's fair.
This isn't a Bethesda game.
So Elder Scrolls and Starfield are both using the new engine called Creation Engine 2.
Okay.
Okay.
So, maybe we'll have fewer problems.
Might be worse.
It could be worse, but I mean, like that was the big part of it. Was just such an old fucking engine. They're asking way too much of for so long. But yeah, I would definitely, and I think just looking cursorily around the internet, I don't think Microsoft is seeing the reaction they wanted to with Starfield or Bethesda either.
Yeah, I think
it was not a very good presentation.
That presentation disappointed me more than excited.
Yeah, I was a little bummed because I've not liked Bethesda games since Oblivion. I hated it. I didn't like Skyrim. I didn't even try Fallout 4. I don't like their style of stuff. But I was like, Starfield, that's on a new engine. They've learned a lot of stuff. I like, if it's in space, that's inherently a little more interesting when you're getting into gameplay stuff and trying to do some weird stuff, especially with ship combat, because so few games do that very well at all. Mm-hmm. So the idea of that there being potential there, I mean, I would like to still be hopeful, but it was definitely not as cool as I thought it would look.
Yeah, it definitely, for all the hype, did not live up.
I also know it didn't help itself that it was on this fucking gray moon. No color anywhere.
It's very monochrome.
I think that didn't help it.
Should have just gone to Tatooine.
Yeah, they should have.
No, we don't need desert planets in sci-fi.
They should have just gone to this totally random planet that wasn't planned at all, like No Man's Sky. That was just a perfect demo planet that they just randomly found in this demo.
Do you think there's a planet out there that's just Skyrim?
I hope so.
That'd be great.
That would probably be a really fantastic Easter egg. Not gonna lie.
Like when you humongous Easter egg.
Yeah, you land on it, it fades to black, and then you fade back out, and you're on the wagon again.
Oh god, Starfield this is just another way to release Skyrim. You're right.
You can walk up to an Echo Dot in your spaceship and start playing the Alexa version.
Oh my gosh!
Please.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a bummer when Starfield kind of felt like of the E3 season that was the big one. Aside from if Sony had shown God of War, but Starfield still was bigger, felt bigger, would have been. It's just a bummer that it was kind of like, ooh. Part of it was the game, the ideas of the game weren't as great, but also they did not choose a great way to present it, I don't think. They didn't do themselves many favors in helping make it look good.
No.
Or better.
No.
I mean, it started to look better when they were showing off more of the like funds, like the like settlement building and the ship building, like all the extraneous stuff. I was like, okay, I could see like, this is definitely a game you could lose. Like, if it's your game, you lose days to this, right? Because, like, there's just so much to dig into. The question is, do you want to dig into it? Which, I don't know. I'm iffy on that right now.
I want to see more polished gameplay. In terms of, like, I want to see the UI. I want to see a lot more than sped up sequences, because you could tell they were jumping along because the health kept changing.
It kind of felt like they showed us a whole lot of like what's not the core gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, you know, that's great for the people who want to spend like days and days and days. But if I just want to play the story, after seeing that, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, that's right. They haven't said shit about the story.
And that's
other than you're seeking out these items to do something.
Save humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I would like to know more. Yeah.
I think we're getting cyberpunked, guys.
Oh no.
This, I mean, could very well be, if I'm being honest. Like,
yeah, I mean, Twitter has not been kind over the last
No, it hasn't. I was looking at a few things
I've been scrolling through Twitter every once in a while, and it's just Starfield.
Yeah.
Can you read some choice tweets? Could you show some choice tweets for us?
Blaster32 says...
go on.
I don't have anything.
Reputable Twitter personality with 1,000 following and 8 followers has said.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, Starfield does have a photo mode, apparently.
Yeah, because that moon I was looking at looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
All its grays.
I just want to run around snapping pics, man.
Well, I mean, you don't need to worry about them having a black and white filter. That's positive. Yeah. They built it in, baby.
That's right.
I guess that is something too. The game doesn't quite look pretty, huh? I mean, I get that there's a lot going on, but
I mean, that's going to unfortunately come with making these massive worlds and not focusing on kind of catered experiences. That's why, wandering around Fallout or wandering around Skyrim, there's a lot of kind of generic stuff. You've got this massive area, and they can only, tailor so much to a specific experience.
Yeah. What I find so funny right now is that trending for me on Twitter, so this is just for me, but it's just hilarious. No Man's Sky is trending.
Yes.
It has not been shown off at all today.
Yeah.
I have Killer Instinct trending, apparently.
Yeah, there were, I mean, the number of things that were rumored for the Xbox show, a Banjo-Kazooie revival, a new Killer Instinct.
How fucking hype would a Banjo thing have been?
There was no Halo, like in the splash screen image that they showed of everything coming up. Like a new season of the Halo online multiplayer was shown, but nothing for it as a game. We're still waiting for the campaign co-op to launch for it.
Still waiting for hit registration to get fixed.
Yeah,
too.
Hit registration has become an issue.
Dare you forget about the Pelican coming to Flight Sim? How fucking dare you?
Pelicans in Flight Simulator.
Drive the Warthog in Forza.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah, take your little hit of dopamine there and enjoy it, because it's going to be months before we hear anything else about Halo.
The best Halo content is not in a Halo game.
Yeah. Is it the Halo TV show?
Like, it's so frustrating too. I jumped back into Halo a couple days ago just to hop back in, and within 2 or 3 games I was like, yep, hit registration is still broken, and I just walked away. It's because it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And come on.
All right, so question to the table before we round things out. Of all the things we've seen so far, and granted we're about maybe halfway through this whole event season, if I'm willing to bet, next week we're also going to talk a lot about more announcements.
Oh, yeah.
Any standout pieces where you're like, I am so excited for that?
Darktide, Witchfire, maybe Flintlock.
Okay.
I think for me, there's like a lot that I want to play that I plan on playing, but it's not like if you asked, like, if you had access, which game would you want to get tomorrow? Like, I wouldn't have any single thing that like immediately jumps out and grasps me.
It's fair.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm in a similar boat. I am pretty excited for Neon White, but that's like pretty soon, right?
Yeah.
And Lightyear Frontier seems pretty cool. I'm very happy that the Persona games are coming to Game Pass, but then I'm also like, I mean, I'm not going to play through that's an 100+ hour commitment
per
yeah.
game.
The Persona releases are very much for people who haven't had a chance to play Persona yet.
Exactly.
Like I'm looking forward to, of those Persona releases, I'm looking forward to 3 really hitting so that I can play it. I might try to G myself up to play 5 because I never played Royal, but when the PC release of Golden came out, I blasted through that, and so I don't think that I want to spend another 22 hours on that.
There is one announcement we saw that I know you're very excited about. The Animal Well at Day of the Devs.
Oh, yes.
Where it's just like secrets on secrets on secrets.
Yeah, no, I want that game right now. It's I take right back everything I just said.
Put it in your computer right now.
Yeah. That is a game we now call Stretch Core.
Yeah, that's
when I was
any of the puzzles that get too meta.
So I saw Day of the Devs before it came on, so we had the stuff before it was shown publicly, and I was writing notes for each game because I didn't get to keep a video file of it, and I literally wrote for that, "This is a stretch game."
And for anyone who hasn't seen the Animal World trailer and is into games like Fez or Tunic, which is still my game of the year, even in the announcement trailer, they said there's a puzzle within this trailer, and the first 10 people to get the puzzle will be given a free copy of the game. Are
you one of those 10?
How many notebooks have you filled up?
No, I haven't bothered with it yet. I'm looking forward to joining in the hunt for stuff when it comes out.
Like the dev said, he's hoping that it becomes a communal, like some people figuring out the puzzles together.
Yeah, I mean that's what it was for Tunic, and it was just so much fun. Like, I'm not a very active Discord user. I was on Discord daily. Like, I was working with people for Tunic secrets and puzzles. There was one day that I spent 5 hours sitting at my desk, literally trying to figure out a single puzzle in Tunic. And then my wife came home. I read the clue to her, and she's like, "Oh, well, shouldn't that be that?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" But no, I kid you not, because I was in a Discord that Finji had set up specifically for press people for Tunic. So my wife coming home and saying, "Hey, wouldn't that just mean that yada yada?" She was the very first person to ever solve that puzzle. And it's just like the dumbest, weirdest thing to be like, I have sat here for, I kid you not, 5 hours today trying to solve this. She comes home, 30 seconds, like, solved it, moved on, boom. And
I'm bored of this now.
It was wild. I love it. I love those meta puzzle games so much. Yeah, but yeah, Animal Well. Animal Well is going to be my game.
Okay. Does anything stand out to you so far in this season of announcements?
It's kind of like what Stretch said. It's been a bunch of solid, really great stuff. Like, if you're someone that's just into the biggest in the like AAA, I want something flashy, it probably hasn't been that exciting for you. But there's so much just bread and butter, like greatness that's been shown this week. Like, if you didn't watch the Guerrilla Collective, there's a ton of great games that showed up in that. If you didn't watch Wholesome Direct, it had some pretty neat looking stuff if it's for like chill games. There's so many. Tribeca had a bunch of cool stuff that they showed. Like, there's so many awesome projects that I would love to play. Honestly, the one that I probably want to play the soonest is coming out the soonest is the Cuphead DLC. But because I didn't realize, for some reason it wasn't on my radar. It's coming out later this month. It comes out at the end of the month. Mm-hmm. And the fact that it's under $10 for this DLC is like criminal. It feels like it's worth more.
Somewhere that it's on Game Pass as well.
I would assume so. Didn't Cuphead start with Microsoft?
I think so.
I know it's on everything now, but so that's probably the one I'm most excited to play soon. I think the one still that I really, really, really enjoyed and was blown away by the short trailer was the Plucky Squire, because it's I reviewed Mario Odyssey for us, and it's one of the few 10 out of 10 games we've given, and I would still stand by that today because I think it's just so perfectly the way, like, I like to use, I guess, what Stretch uses sometimes, a piece of candy kind of thing, where it's just like, oh, there's another cool, neat mechanic. That's another cool idea. Someone thought something really neat here. And it's something like, you might do it once, you might never do it again unless you, like, screw around on that world some more. But there was that over and over and over again, creativity over and over again. And I'm seeing a lot of creativity here. So I definitely love when devs take a pretty simple tool set and just kind of run them into the ground and just do all the cool shit they can think of with them and get really creative. And this feels like it's trying to do that just in this trailer. Obviously, I've seen a minute of the game. I could have seen all that there is already. I don't know. But what was there has me really hopeful that there was a lot of cool stuff there.
Like, quick correction, the DLC is not on Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
Base game is, though, I believe.
Well, how dare you?
Yeah. I'm still going to be playing it when it comes out.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be great.
I should replay the original. Yes. I mean the whole game, not just
build back the muscle memory.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be like, oh man, I suck. Like,
yeah,
take a while.
Yeah, well, I think that's a wrap for this week's kind of packed episode. I mean, like, we went on for quite a bit today.
There's a lot going on. We still have the Capcom show in 18 minutes at 6 p.m.
Oh my god. Should we just vamp for 18
Dragon's
minutes?
Dogma 2,
it
let's get it.
That's either going to age like wine or milk.
Yeah, it's probably going to be milk.
If we talk about Dragon's Dogma, we got to tell the Travis story. You know the one.
I do.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I don't know if that's podcast appropriate.
Oh no.
I don't think anything happened.
For another day.
For another day. Maybe next week if Dragon's Dogma 2 gets announced.
Yeah. At that point, we'd probably have to definitely talk about that.
If Dragon Dogma 2 is announced, I am going to bring it up regardless of what you guys say.
And you're going to tell the Travis story too. So
that's what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as of the time of this publishing, hopefully it's out so that you can all expect I
don't expect the story.
And if it's not out, then you can blame Rut. He jinxed it.
Also, I feel like we're overselling this story. It's good. Like, it's funny. It's not that funny. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, I can't wait.
It's just a very Travis story.
But you're trying to tamper the expectations.
Well, because everybody's going to be like, it's going to be a very like, that'll be it. Huh.
Yeah. Kind of like Starfield, right?
Yeah. Well, that was Starfield.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's not how you felt about today's podcast. We hope you enjoyed our episode. And if you did, please feel free to leave a review on whatever platform you're listening on, or let us know down below what announcement were you the most excited about so far? Was it Redfall? Or was it maybe the Last of Us remaster? Let us know either on YouTube below or on our site, techraptor.net, where we're always publishing news, reviews, and features throughout the week. But if you want more of our show, we will be back next Monday. See you then.